In this video I will show you a guide for the Dao Lord Heroes Realm boss, how to deal with all the mechanics in the best way possible and ensure you defeat the boss. Before you start the fight, make sure to have the Tai Chi Mystic skill equipped, as it is required for some of the boss mechanics. First off, when the fight starts, there will be 3 heads poking out of the ground, one for each of the little Dao Lords. The fight will not start until all 3 heads are interacted with. 3 players must each choose one of the heads, and for the remainder of the fight, they will have aggro of that corresponding mini-boss. Little Fu and Little Lu are the most dangerous ones because they can turn big, so you should have the tank or tanks choose them. Ideally you have 2 tanks for this fight to make things easier. Anybody can take aggro of Little Shou because she's not that dangerous. Both Little Fu and Little Lu have a circle around their icon, which is called the bond meter. This meter starts out purple and it gradually fills up. When it becomes full, it turns red, making them transform into a larger form. You can deplete the purple or red meters by throwing rodents at them, which spawn periodically whenever there's an enlarged boss present. Another important mechanic is the threshold on each boss health bar, which is indicated by this white line. This represents how much you can damage the boss, and once it reaches that line, they hide underground and they can't be damaged anymore, indicated by the lock icon on top of their health bar. When a boss is underground, they will deal damage periodically to the entire team until you make them all go underground and move to the next phase. They will no longer deal damage while underground when you have depleted their entire health bar, signifying that they are dead. Once you make all 3 of them hide underground, they will transition to the next phase, which is when they transform into the big Dao Lord. You have to go through this mechanic 2 times during the whole fight. The Dao Lord takes reduced damage by 50% during this phase, and rodents will spawn periodically. The Dao Lord will have a purple bond meter around their icon, and this time it will fill up very quickly. You can throw rodents at him to reduce his purple bond meter progress. When you use Tai Chi to throw a rodent, make sure to aim the reticle exactly at the character you want to throw it at, otherwise it will just fall on the ground in front of you. One of the attacks it does usually after it spawns is Pray for Yourself, which marks 2 random players, and after a short duration, it traps them in a spell. Marked players must ensure they run away from the other players to not catch them in the spell. The other players can throw rodents near the stunned players to free them from the spell. When the purple bond meter fills up, it becomes red, and it will perform the Fu, Lu, Shu, Enjoy attack, which makes it spin multiple times, dealing damage both in close range and across the entire arena. Just run away from him and avoid the orange area. After the attack ends, the bond meter turns purple again and it starts filling up again. The big Dao Lord also has a white line on its health bar, indicating how much you have to damage him until it breaks down into 3 little Dao Lords again. When the big Dao Lord phase ends, the little Dao Lords will resume with the same chi bar and the same purple bond meter progress. When any of the 3 bosses are close to each other, they will accelerate their purple bond meter fill up and they will turn golden. You can see this by their icons pulsing and the purple meter filling up faster. During this time they will stop taking chi damage. The same thing will happen if you kill one of them or make them go underground, and then another of the remaining bosses comes close to that location, which is indicated by their icon above the ground. For this reason, throughout the fight, it's important to keep all 3 of them separated even after they're dead or underground, and take them out one by one. The Shared Fortune attack will be cast periodically by Little Shou, which is what increases Fu and Lu's purple bond meter slowly. It has no effect on the red bond meter. Little Shou will sometimes target the aggroing player with an orange beam attack. Make sure it doesn't hit Fu or Lu, or they will get a massive boost in their bond meter, regardless if it's purple or red. The targeted player must direct the beam away from the 2 other bosses. The Great Fortune or Wealth attack is when Little Fu or Lu get a full purple bond meter and they transform into a bigger version of themselves. The bond meter around their icon will turn red and it will start depleting slowly. While any boss is enlarged, rodents will spawn periodically in the middle of the arena. You can either survive until the bond meter goes back to 0, or use Tai Chi on a rodent and throw it towards the enlarged boss, which will make it scream and will deplete the red bond meter by a small amount. Periodically they will deal huge AoE red attacks which can be dodged or parried. While they are big, they no longer take chi damage, and their attacks are much more dangerous and deal much more damage. It's important to avoid letting them turn big as much as possible, and if they do, throw rodents at them to make them shrink again. The first blessing attack is when the enlarged boss will start stomping the ground 3 times, dealing AoE damage covering the whole arena. There's nothing you can do here, just tank it and heal through it. The Longevity Wish attack will make Shou mark the targeted player with an orange attack and then dash towards them and deal damage. You can dodge out of the way or just tank it and heal back up. For the Blessings at a Doorstep attack, the enlarged boss will charge and deal one massive AoE attack covering the whole arena. Nothing you can do besides tanking it and healing back up. The Vast Fortune attack is a similar one, where the enlarged boss will jump and deal 4 big AoE attacks covering the whole arena. Just tank it and heal back up. At random moments, the Squeak Out attack might trigger, which makes them all bury underground and throw attacks at the entire party, dealing cheap damage over time. You have to perform a mighty drop right where you see the icons for the little bosses to force them back out. While they're underground, their bond meters will stop increasing, so you don't have to rush to get them back up. Be careful, however, to not make them come back up next to each other, because they will trigger the accelerated bond meter gain, increasing Little Fu and Little Lu's bond meter faster. After you drop on their head and they come back out, they will be stunned for a long period of time, during which they will take health damage but not chi damage, and their bond meters will stop increasing. Take advantage of this to deal massive DPS. So let's do a recap of what you have to do for this fight. Number 1, make sure to have Tai Chi Mystic skill equipped. Number 2, never have 2 or 3 of the bosses close to each other, even if they're dead or underground. Focus your DPS on Little Fu and Little Lu to kill them before they become enlarged. When Little Shou targets you with a beam, redirect the attack away from the other 2 bosses. And lastly, use Tai Chi on the rodents and throw them at the enemy when they are large and they have a red bar, or throw them at your teammates when they are stunned by the big Dao Lord to free them. This fight is very easy and you shouldn't have any issues with it, since there's no party wipe mechanic, even if you fail some of the other mechanics. As long as the 3 bosses are far apart, it should be an easy run. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and a sub. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.